Was Lewis Jefferson Jeff McCoy enticed to his doom, or did he have a warrant for his arrest? Today, we will look at the facts of the case and see if we can discern what happened. We will talk about how we missed this important part of the story because a lot of information was not yet available online. There is a warrant connected to the Jeff McCoy case, but who is it really for and why? And will Tom Wallace and Cap Hatfield pay for the crime of the murder of Jeff McCoy? All aboard the Kentucky Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we still need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine for our flight back in time, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger vehicle to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. What we knew at the time. It always amazes us how much information comes out over time. And if we are patient, we get to rewrite what was previously learned about those cases we talk about, such as the case with Jeff McCoy. Here is what we said about this in our previous documentary. Quote, Jeff McCoy killed Fred Wolford, who was a mail carrier. The reasons for this murder are currently unknown, as well as its connection to the feud. Acting as constable, Cap Hatfield and his friend Tom Wallace were acting upon a warrant to arrest Jeff McCoy for this murder. Both men shot Jeff while he was trying to escape on the banks of the Tug Fork River. Tom Wallace was found dead in the spring of 1887. Unquote. There simply wasn't a lot to say because of no information at that time. But since more information is out, let's dive into the story of Jeff McCoy. We will give both versions of the story, but as the old saying goes, there's point A's truth, point B's truth, and the exact truth lays somewhere in the middle. Who was Lewis Jefferson Jeff McCoy? According to the information on the Find a Grave website, Lewis Jefferson Jeff McCoy was born on October 13th, 1859 in Pike County to Asa Harmon McCoy and Martha Patsy Klein McCoy. Jeff's siblings were Mary Magdalene McCoy Daniels, Jacob Jake McCoy, Larkin Howard Lark McCoy, Asa Harmon Bud McCoy Jr., and Nancy L. McCoy Hatfield Phillips. Jeff would go on to marry Sarah Wolford McCoy on October 30th, 1880. They had 4 children together: Perry Lee McCoy, Lewis Jefferson Jeff McCoy Jr., Maud Ellen McCoy Boland, and Nettie Marie McCoy Velchick. According to the Ancestors website, Jeff and his family lived in Precinct 7, Peters Creek, Pike County, Kentucky, United States in 1880. Now, the Sun newspaper reported that Jeff McCoy was not involved in the feud. However, we found that this information may not be correct. It seems that even though he was not one of the main players in the feud, he did play a significant role in what happened. According to the Find a Grave website, it states the following. Quote, in September of 1885, he shot and wounded Tom Wallace, a Hatfield associate. In March of 1886, he and Andrew Wolford stabbed Fred Wolford. In December of 1886, Cap Hatfield shot Jeff to death at Tug River. In 1887, the Commonwealth dropped a Wolford murder charge and a horse theft case against him due to his death. Unquote. But we have more information about what happened and the 2 sides to the story. But first, let's find out who Fred Wolford was. Who was Fredrick Fred Wolford? There is not a lot of information currently online about Wolford. However, his death was very important to the timeline of the Hatfield and McCoy feud. We do not know for certain if he was any relation to Jeff McCoy's wife, Sarah, even though they have the same last surname. But, according to our source below, it seems that Sarah could have been Fred's niece. But we could not verify this. Fred's parents are not listed on the Find a Grave website, but his birth of April 3rd, 1846 is. He was married to Sarah Sally Hurley Wolford, and they had a daughter named Amarinda Wolford Dodson. According to the information we were able to find out about him, he was a mail carrier in King's Yarn and also a farmer, and that during the Civil War he served in the Union 39th Kentucky Infantry. The two stories of the death of Fred Wolford. We have more information about these crimes from the writings of Tom Dodson in his blog, Hatfields and McCoys, Going Over to the Other Side. Dodson tells us in his article that there were two sides to the stabbing of Wolford. According to the story that Professor Otis Rice relays to Dodson, the Hatfields and the McCoys stayed on their side of the Tug River. They did not cross over for just any reason. Jeff and his brother-in-law, Andrew Wolford Jr., went to Peters Creek in Pike County, Kentucky, and stabbed to death Fred Wolford. The reason behind this was not given. Dodson also relates a view of the stabbing as told by Dean King. According to King, there was a dance that took place in Pike County for the Election Day festivities. According to King, the death of Fred Wolford happened because of a Wolford family argument and had nothing to do with the Hatfield and McCoy feud. Fred Wolford called Jeff McCoy a liar. For this insult, McCoy drew a pistol and shot Wolford dead on the spot. King states that both were indicted for the crime on September 9, 1886. Dodson writes that either during or after the death of Wolford, Jeff McCoy stole a horse and ran to his brother-in-law, Johnson Hatfield's home in West Virginia. The charges of horse theft and murder were dropped against Jeff McCoy upon his death. In next week's video, we will dive into Jeff McCoy's activities while he was staying at the Johnson Hatfield's home. And if the actions of Tom Wallace against the women in Jeff McCoy's family was a far more personal situation than previously thought. Special thank you. We would like to thank Thomas Dodson for his tireless work finding the information that he did about Jeff McCoy. We understand how hard research is, and we always like to recognize the Appalachian researchers out there that share their information to keep history correct. Well done, sir. We truly appreciate your efforts and encourage everyone to read your work. Links are in the description box below. Thank you. Kentucky Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the myths and truths of the Hatfield and McCoy feud. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. Please be sure to double check that you are subscribed, as some of our viewers are finding that they are no longer subscribed to our channel. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.